In 1962, tensions between the USA and the Soviet Union were incredibly high. Rumors swirled that the Soviets might soon drop an atomic bomb. Panic gripped American citizens, and building bomb shelters in backyards became common. Dr. Calvin Works went above and beyond on his bunker, stocking it with enough supplies to last for years. One day, Calvin and his pregnant wife Helen threw a party at their house. Things were going well until a presidential address by Kennedy came on TV. The president announced a secret mission against the Soviet Union, but offered no details. Calvin, consumed by panic and convinced war was imminent, kicked out all the guests and dragged a terrified Helen into the bunker. Seconds later, a malfunctioning aircraft flew overhead and crashed right into their house, leaving absolute destruction. Trapped in the bunker, Calvin heard the crash and tremors. Believing the war had begun, he sealed the door, explaining to Helen it wouldn't open for 35 years, supposedly the time it took for nuclear radiation to clear. Soon after, authorities arrived to investigate the wreckage. Days turned into years, and their son, Adam, grew into a bright young boy. Calvin, determined to raise Adam to rebuild a glorious future for America, taught him everything he knew. This included everything from basic school subjects to boxing, French, Latin, and even the stock market. Helen, on the other hand, instilled good manners and taught Adam how to do chores and even dance. Calvin even tried explaining sports using his collection of baseball cards, but Adam struggled to imagine so many people involved. Despite the confined space, the family established a routine. They had pretend shopping in their mini-mart, fished in a tank, tended to plants, and even built an extra room for Adam. They also had a lounge area where they read, played games, and relaxed together. Meanwhile, above ground, the land where their house once stood changed hands several times. It became a diner, then a pizzeria, and finally, a nightclub. In 1995, Adam turned 33 and received handmade gifts from his parents. As he blew out the candles, he wished to find the perfect partner. Helen mentioned there were only 2 years left before the door opened, prompting a surprising confession from Calvin. He admitted he'd missed their underground life, causing Helen to vent her frustration in another room. Finally, in 1997, the 35 years were up, and the door automatically opened. The family eagerly awaited their escape, but Calvin insisted on a safety check first. Donning a radiation suit, he took the elevator up and emerged into an abandoned building, now home to a group of drunken beggars. Melker, one of the beggars, was utterly shocked by the sight of a glowing figure rising from the ground. Calvin ascended into the building, only to be met with a sight that knocked him unconscious. When he came to, he left the building, completely bewildered by the changes. Graffiti covered everything, people casually handled guns, and adult stores displayed merchandise he found repulsive. The people spoke in a slang he couldn't understand, and their appearance was strange to him. Terrified, Calvin rushed back to the bunker and explained the situation. Though the air was safe to breathe, he claimed the neighborhood had turned into a post-apocalyptic wasteland filled with dangerous mutants. He insisted they stay underground. This news sent Helen over the edge. She yelled at him, expressing her deep frustration with their confinement. She emphasized the importance of Adam experiencing nature and the outside world. Calvin, however, refused to budge, and the argument triggered a heart attack. Now, with Calvin sick and supplies dwindling, the family faced a new crisis. Faced with dwindling supplies and a stubborn Calvin, Helen makes a tough decision. She decides to send Adam outside to gather enough food to last a couple of years. Armed with cash, a shopping list, and instructions to stay at a nearby motel, the Holiday Inn, Adam prepares for his mission. Before he leaves, Calvin warns him to avoid the adult video store, claiming it has harmful radiation, a blatant lie. With everything packed, Adam finally steps outside. The world above ground is a revelation. The beggar from the abandoned building has built a small makeshift temple around the elevator, worshipping Calvin's family as holy beings. Adam, overwhelmed with joy, takes in everything: the vast sky, towering buildings, lush trees, and even other people who find him quite odd. He excitedly greets everyone he sees, his enthusiasm bubbling over. However, his attempt to be friendly accidentally leads him to use a racial slur towards a black woman due to his excitement about seeing someone with a different skin color. Following his father's false warning, he covers his nose and warns others to stay away from the adult video store. He then boards a bus, terrified by the moving vehicle. His attempts to converse with other passengers using outdated vocabulary only confirm their impression of him as a strange outsider. Finally reaching the grocery store, Adam eagerly starts filling his basket with items from the list, bombards Adam with questions upon seeing his wide-eyed wonder at modern technology. Adam, caught off guard, concocts a lie. He's from Alaska on a business trip. Meanwhile, Helen, overcome with curiosity, takes the elevator up to the surface. However, her brief foray outside is cut short. The sight of Melker and his friends acting strangely sends her scurrying back down into the bunker. The next day, Troy decides Adam needs a fashion makeover. The new wardrobe instantly elevates Adam's handsomeness. Eve and Troy become Adam's guides, introducing him to a whirlwind of experiences. They take him dancing to modern music, skateboarding, and even to the ocean, where Adam's excitement leads to him impulsively jumping right in. He finally attends a baseball game, understanding his father's love for the sport. One afternoon, a downpour triggers Adam's awe. He stands mesmerized under the rain, prompting Eve to check on him. In a moment of pure joy, he embraces her, calling the rain a miracle, a term his father often used. In the evening, Eve and Troy take Adam to a retro swing club, hoping to find him a wife. Their advice is simple: just be himself. At the club, Adam's charm and good looks attract attention. Eve's rival quickly connects with him, making Eve jealous. Eve pulls Adam aside, advising him to find a sweet woman instead of a skank. Adam then dances with another girl, showcasing impressive moves that leave everyone in awe. Eve tries to suppress her jealousy while chatting with her ex-boyfriend. He mocks Adam and attempts to provoke a fight. However, Adam's boxing skills quickly scare him off. Frustrated by the drama, Eve leaves the club alone. When Troy returns home, he informs Eve that Adam left with her rival. This realization sparks a revelation. Eve is in love with Adam. She rushes out to find him, but before taking off in her car, she's startled by a knock on the window. It's Adam! He takes her inside, tending to a scratch while explaining his rejection of the other girls. He simply couldn't stop thinking about Eve. They confess their feelings and share a kiss. Ready to be honest, Adam decides to tell Eve everything about his family, their underground home. Suddenly, Adam spots the adult video store and follows the road, leading him to the building above the bunker. He's thrilled to see Melker and his group built a whole religion around the elevator. Excited with this discovery, he races back to Eve's place, only to find two psychiatrists waiting for him. Initially, he pretends to cooperate, but seeing an opportunity, he escapes, chased by one doctor while the other tries to call the police. Eve, realizing her mistake, stops the police call. In the chaos, Adam manages to reach Eve, handing her his hotel key with the baseball cards to pay the bill. He then escapes in a rented truck, accidentally hitting the doctor's car in the process. Eve and Troy head back to Adam's hotel, finding clues that support his story: 1960s items and Calvin's now valuable stock certificates. These signs convince them Adam wasn't lying. Meanwhile, Adam reunites with his parents in the bunker after a 2-week absence. He tells them about the wonderful world outside, and they unload the supplies delivered by Melker's group. Desperate to find Adam, Eve and Troy head to the adult video store, stomping on the floor in a futile attempt to locate the bunker. Unsuccessful, they're about to leave when they see Adam entering a nearby building. Eve rushes to him. They share a kiss and a hug, and Adam introduces her to his parents. Calvin and Helen warm up to Eve quickly, and they have dinner together. However, before making permanent decisions, Adam requests a 2-month delay. In the following weeks, Adam and Eve sell Calvin's stocks and use the money to build a new house in the country, an exact replica of their old home. Melker also contributes, cleaning up his act and abandoning alcohol. With everything ready, Adam brings his parents to the new house. This allows them to slowly adjust to the outside world. As Eve and Helen prepare dinner, Adam finally breaks the news to Calvin. There was never an atomic war. The bomb was actually a plane crash, and the Soviet Union collapsed. Calvin, in disbelief, starts planning to build a new bunker, just in case. So guys, that's the end of the film. Hope you enjoy the video well. If so, then hit the like button and subscribe for more contents. Thanks for watching the video.